Am I the asshole for wanting to pull the plug?
If I drop dead like right now, right, I'm okay.
I didn't know this thing existed. Not just at point of death, right? What happens before? What if your children are assholes? Maybe they don't care about you. They want the family to fight. That is the journey he has to go through.
Would you pull the plug on your partner? This is your daily Ketchup.
More than 50% of you are
Not subscribe.
what? It would do us a big favor if you are.
Subscribe.
That's right. So head down below, click, subscribe, hit it real hard and good. So that I can finish with this and get on to the episode.
Thank you. Today's episode is brought to you by My Legacy at Life SG. So today we're going to talk about something a bit more serious.
No!
See, this is so. So I came across this thread on Am I the asshole?
Yes.
okay.
AITA.
AITA.
Love
Yes.
it. Love it. That's how Nat goes to sleep, by the way. She reads like 2 hours of AITA.
How far down do you all go on Reddit? Do you only read
far.
the first two? I always just read the first two, then I realize the rest like not very funny usually.
Or like your homepage or like a particular subreddit?
No, like particular subreddit.
It depends. I'm usually on my homepage, but yeah.
I'm stayed informed of things outside my circle.
Abreast.
If I abreast of
Okay,
the situation.
you go.
But yeah, so for this particular post, a man's 26-year-old wife suffered a sudden brain aneurysm and fell into a coma. And the doctors told him that there is a 70% chance that she will never wake up again. So the wife previously told the man that she wouldn't want to live like this, but her family says that taking her on life support equates to murder.
Right.
So the question is, am I the asshole for wanting to pull the plug?
It's so funny because like on Am I the Asshole, it's usually like very trivial matters.
Yeah.
Not usually something this
Heavy.
heavy. Well, there were a lot of comments to it.
So wait, so if more people comment, no, you are not the asshole, then he'll go and tell the doctor, yes, please pull the plug.
She just needs that
To
reassurance.
be honest, yeah, it's just
That's what
bouncing
Reddit is
off
for,
your-
really.
Yeah, really just
Confirmation
echo chambering.
bias,
Yeah,
ah.
confirmation bias. Yeah, but there are basically the comments. What I've read is two camps lah.
Ideally.
Basically, pull the plug and don't pull the plug.
shit.
But here's the viewpoints from each of them. Okay, so not the asshole. Speaking as someone who has told friends and family the same thing, I know I'd be furious if they kept me on the hook like that. It's a horrible and painful decision to make, but it's still a decision that needs to be made.
Yeah.
Okay. Other point. Hey man, this is awful. You gotta start there.
One camp seems more empathetic though.
But if it were me, 70% chance of not recovering is 30% chance that she will.
The glass is half full. No, but where I'm stuck on is also the 70%. Because like if you tell me there's like 90% chance of this person never waking up again, and then say they've been there for like a month or so, right? And then they're really not waking up, then probably I would want to respect this person's wishes at that point. But
No, I wonder how statistical this number actually is.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they input everything.
the doctor say,
Then
hey,
the-
then her eye twitch a bit, and then she 70%.
71 now.
Yeah. Having this like pulling or plug conversation, right? I remember having it really, really young with my mum.
Oh.
It was like 7 or 8, and we were in the car because she used to drive me to school. And what do you mean?
And that was the question, like.
No, because okay, so I remember now, and I don't know why I remember very clearly, right? But the conversation was because we were listening to the news on the radio, and there was this really high-profile US
Right.
case. I don't remember, in the late 90s or early 2000s. It was a woman named Terry Schiavo. She was basically medically diagnosed to not be able to recover already, and the only thing that was keeping her alive was like this nutrition tube, feeding tube.
Machines lah. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
And so the doctor said like there's really no chance of recovery totally. The husband was her legal guardian and had the power to basically say like, okay, let's pull it out, and made that decision. And then the parents of her sued him to the point where the doctors couldn't pull the plug. And the whole case lasted 7 years from when he wanted to pull the plug to when he finally got the chance to. Yeah, it got to the point where George W. Bush like even had to comment on it. Like he was president at the time, like, not randomly like, hey guys.
Xiao George.
Scoring some political
But
points.
it went up all the way through the courts to like, I don't know whether it went to the Supreme Court, but it went up really, really high. And so like my mum, right, as we're hearing this conversation every single morning because we're hearing the updates, right? Then she's like, really, just pull the plug. Okay, we get to the situation, pull the plug. Coma day one, just pull the plug. Don't waste money, don't waste time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I started crying. I went to school bawling. Like, why are you talking about death? Like,
Yeah.
At
no
8
lah.
years old, a bit much to kind of
Yeah,
say.
it's like,
But no, when Dan said like I had a thought, I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
you were gonna say net.
oh,
Yeah, I mean, like, and I feel like this is a conversation that
What would we do
Like
if we were there?
yeah, you know, like maybe it'll pop up in some kind of conversation.
My partner hates it when I talk about death. So, I mean, given that my partner has lost her dad, right? So I can, and very early in life also, so I can see where like there is that pain point. So like I'm totally comfortable with death. Like I can 100% say, right, if I drop dead like right now, right, I'm okay. And the regrets and all that, it doesn't matter because it's like there's nothing I can do to change it anyway.
Yeah, there is no regret after death, guys.
Yeah, so
Know that.
Yeah. It's so
Amen.
obvious but so profound.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm completely okay. But whenever I say that, right, like she gets visibly upset. Like, as in she doesn't fault me for it because she knows that's just like how I feel and that's just how it is lah. But then she just doesn't like the way I talk about it as though I don't cherish my life. And that is what she gets upset about. And then so we've never really had conversations that really surround like my death or their death.
So Jared, as a married man, right, and given that you've read this situation on Am I the Asshole, what would you do in that situation as a husband?
I talked to my wife immediately after I read the thread.
Oh.
So she said like, don't pull the plug on me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. She said she was on that glass half full.
As in,
like,
in this specific scenario.
I gave the exact scenario.
Okay.
And she said 30%. Yeah, that's good chances.
Agree.
Yeah, actually 30% is quite high. Lah.
But she also like prefaced it by saying, okay, it's not such a black and white situation, right? There's so many like factors to this entire thing. Like, am I in pain?
Yeah.
Am I not conscious but still breathing, not in any kind of discomfort or anything? Then that's where it kind of, if I'm not in pain, don't put the plug.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But you never know what.
Yeah, how you know she in coma?
I trust the doctors lah, I guess, you know. I'm guessing. I'm
I'm inclined to believe the doctors, right, will tell you what
Yeah, because the doctors. Most of the time, the doctors are asking you whether you're in pain. What? It's not that they're gonna know whether.
No, I'm definitely in pain, no, but yeah, I no,
On a daily basis.
that too lah, but no, but I definitely like was surprised by that response. It's like,
You thought she was gonna say
Don't-
just put the plug, right?
yeah, I thought like, because for me, I'm like, yeah, just put the plug. I don't want to do the financial burden. I don't want you to just move on already lah.
Yeah.
To me, 30%, failing really.
No, but is there a number that she gave you?
She didn't give number. She just say pain or no pain.
Right. Actually, certain times can tell one. Like, for example, with my grandma, right, you could see every breath, even though she was unconscious, right, has a whistle to it and is super laboured. Yeah.
No, I think the other thing, so like the situation I had, my late uncle who passed away in 2020, he was my legal guardian. He was in pain because we had to put tubes down his throat. So like it was quite obvious that he was in pain in that situation.
Then
Right.
I guess I'm putting the plug on my wife in this
Wait,
hypothetical.
question.
Wait,
But
she
no,
said
she
no.
said no already.
But no, the tubes are in her. You
Only
gonna hurt
if
what?
lah,
Yeah
only
lah.
if lah.
Yeah lah. If the
Okay,
tubes
okay.
are in her, then like it's obviously pain.
That's really scary.
All of a sudden say, I'm gonna kill my
Damn
wife.
clear instructions.
I love you
then
so
do the
much.
opposite.
Wait, sorry. So, okay, if the scenario is that she is there, she's not in pain, just kind of a sleeping state, right?
Yeah.
But might not wake up
Yeah.
ever.
Hospital
And
bills
then-
keep it going, man.
Okay, so 3 years pass.
Does it reevaluate your relationship? Does it make you think like, this bitch?
3 years pass. Is it okay for you to date?
While she's still in coma and alive.
Oh,
But
shit.
it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
You-
Right?
That should have been the second part of our conversation, to be honest. Like,
Would she want you to be happy?
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure what she would have wanted me to do.
I've had this conversation with Pat.
What?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Let's move it over.
Don't even say she unconscious She say even if she divorced me
What?
Don't find other people.
you cannot date mommy.
That is the full
Damn
stop.
selfish.
It really makes you reevaluate your
Yeah,
own
relationship.
relationship.
I really my relationship. Even if she said she don't want me already.
What, she got non-compete clause?
You just cannot don't want her.
What the heck?
She leave you, but you cannot find anyone after
Yeah,
that.
like, don't even say she's still
Yeah,
alive
lose
in
no
the
situation,
Like,
Oh,
if she die, cannot. If you divorce me, also got one few year clause.
Gatekeep, girl boss.
Okay, but you got talk about the put the plug one before?
I've spoken it for myself. I told
for
her
you,
what I
your
want.
wishes. lah.
Yeah, I actually had this conversation. So, part of why we're doing this episode as well, not just at point of death, right? What happens before? I could see a hypothetical situation, right, where for some reasons you are no longer mentally sound.
Yeah.
Maybe pockets of lucidity here and there, but in order for your family to keep you alive, right, you bankrupt them and they cannot access your bank account because the bank cannot verify that you approve this withdrawal of money to help yourself. Even let's say you have a GCB or you have a very expensive condo that requires your income to pay for, and clearly your family cannot pay for their house and yours, so they need to sell your house so that they don't get themselves in debt, and also the balance can pay for your treatment, but they cannot even sell your house because, number one, you're still alive. You're not dead. This process can drag on for years. Like, let's say early onset dementia, which can happen as early as your 30s. From 30s all the way to your 40s, you're going to drain your whole family of everything. I mean, that to me is my biggest fear. Okay, so some context, right, which is what I promised earlier, right, was that
Oh, thank you.
I like to do like dumb shit. I like to like when I look at something high, I wonder like if I jump off, right, will I survive? But I don't want to die.
We call those intrusive thoughts.
No.
Hey guys, so we've just discussed whether this person's the asshole and then whether we are the assholes. What is your answer?
Are
What
you
would
an
you do?
asshole? No, we like to know your answers. Let us know what you think.
Like, share, and subscribe in the meantime. Back to the episode.
We want to tell Singaporeans the importance of making an advanced care plan and lasting power of attorney, and which I will define in a bit.
I can help you with that, but
yeah, sure, right?
No, sure.
I have a lot of things I want to share about LPA and ACP. Guys, it's really important. Okay, can you define it for us?
So, a lasting power of attorney is a legal document that allows a person who is at least 21 years or older
That's what at least means. That's okay.
to appoint one or more trusted people to make decisions on their behalf in welfare and financial matters if they lose mental capacity.
So it's like the Britney Spears, but if she wanted it.
And she had no, not sound of mine anymore.
Yes,
That's
pretty much,
basically
very
it.
close.
Okay.
But you can set limits. So Britney
Right.
Spears got a damn terrible deal, right?
Yes.
Like,
I
what, the
don't
father
even think
just
she had a hand in
She
that
had no deal,
lah.
yeah.
She had no deal.
But this one you can set limits. So then the concern here is that will I sign away the rights to manage my assets to like somebody, then that person can just destroy me and make me poor and steal all my money, right?
Trusted person.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
The first one is that you get to pick, which is very damn understated because everybody assume that like you want your children to do it. What if your children are assholes, right?
Their relationship or that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
They just
What if the
want you to
children
die.
are the one that want to take your money? It's
Yeah,
true,
yeah,
and you rather not. You rather this godson that you chose, not someone you shed out. And this only comes into effect if a certified medical professional say that you have lost mental capacity. So it's not like someone say, "Oh, my mother like gong gong already," Then you take out one document and can. It's not like that.
Yeah,
The doctor need to say.
Actual definition, yeah.
Yeah, and so, and then with that you can also set limits lah. So for example, if I set your order, it's like you can withdraw up to $5,000.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you appoint one person just for personal welfare, one person for finances, one person for assets?
You can, but that requires LPA Form 2, which has to be drafted by a lawyer.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. No, which is fine, which is important to talk about
Okay,
also.
yeah,
Because no matter how complex you want it, like there is a way.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I did that form, right, because I just bought a place that I haven't moved into, oh my god, it's been so long. That if something happens to me and there's a good chance, because I like to do like dumb shit. I like to like, when I look at something high, I wonder like if I jump off, right, will I survive? But I don't want to die.
We call those intrusive thoughts.
No, I just feel like
Are you the Mission
I'm
mascot?
invincible.
Yeah.
That's like they always say everybody on Mount Everest was once a very highly motivated person, so maybe chill.
Wow, you killing me with the quotes today.
Yeah, no, I stole from the internet, right? And so I just feel like if anything, these things happen to me, and because I've had such a blessed life already, I don't think it's unfair if they say, I get cancer. Like to me, it's damn possible, And my fear is that if something happens to me and I don't just die, because if I die,
Okay.
my CPF unlocks,
Yeah.
right?
the
And I've
nomination and
nominated,
everything,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And your will comes into effect. And
My
all that.
will comes into effect, which means the remaining of my property, the shares of my property, will be willed away, right? My insurance unlocks. Pet can retire. But if I hang on for 20 years, which with medical advances today,
Good chance.
damn, like, wow, they gonna keep me alive for a while, And with that, right, and pet, in order for pet to access, don't say my insurance because cannot lah, not dead, right?
Nor your will.
Yeah,
which only comes
in
into
order
effect.
to access just my bank account, because I can have dementia and be damn rich, right? And if she wants to just access my bank account, just to use my bank account to pay for me, she needs to go to court. She needs to go lawyer, and at the end of the day, and that may not be what I want, because maybe pet's a gold digger and I don't want it to be pet. So like basically what an LPA does is you choose WHO kicks in when you lose mental capacity, as certified by a doctor, set forth by the limits that you are willing to grant.
Yeah.
And I can't believe before I read this brief, right, that I didn't know this thing existed.
Wow, you're making it sound like death is not the scariest thing anymore. Right?
It's staying alive in a...
Staying alive that is the scariest thing now.
No, but I actually had
Like
to...
in war, I think getting blown up is okay. Getting shot in the leg is terrible.
So much perspective.
So I was actually appointed an LP, like the Dani of an LPA.
Oh, nice.
For not nice lah. It was
But it's
okay.
good that they're planning ahead,
No,
right?
but the situation was that
Oh,
so my late uncle, who didn't make an LPA, was already in the hospital, and he was in the hospital for about 3 months, and like it was really a bad state lah. So he had, like I said, the tubes, right, and so he can only communicate via writing. And he was telling us that actually there's a lot of stuff that he needs to like pay for, and he was worried. And then we were like, no, don't worry about it. We'll pay for it. He's like, no, because he's got some cash in the bank, and like he just wants to use it. So then we went to the bank, and like the bank said, no, you have to have either an LPA or a POA, and a POA is like power of attorney, but you need to have like the bank's like attorney to like look over and all that. So then we had to go and get the LPA sorted, and then once the forms were all done already, and we thought like, okay lah, great lah, we can get the LPA done. The hospital actually stopped us and said, no. How can you do this like in the hospital bed? This is very, very risky and dangerous. Did you coerce him or whatever and all this?
Right.
And so then they had to do like a psych like examination, which was actually really reassuring lah, that they actually have to do this. So like there's a lot of families who are in that same situation where they can't speak anymore. They're no longer of sound of mind. And so I think it really reinforced the importance of doing it early and not waiting to be in the hospital, then only decide like, okay, I need to do all this.
This sound of mind thing is so understated.
Yeah.
Like this sound of mind. Like with the advances now, right, keeping us physically alive is just very doable. Like you lost both your legs, your arm, you lose organs.
It's all here.
Your heart, but you still got a machine you know what I mean?
Wait, so what's the difference between LPA and ACP then?
So ACP stands for Advanced Care Plan, and it's a process where you communicate your values and wishes regarding future health and personal care to your loved ones and healthcare team. It involves appointing a nominated healthcare spokesperson to express your values and healthcare preferences in the event where you are unable to make decisions independently.
So like the abridged version is that LPA is more for like the
Executor.
like the legal side of things. So like you're managing your finances, your assets. ACP is more for your medical preferences.
Right.
Yeah, but there are like, I have kind of put the differences really into like sections.
Oh, nice. Oh, let's hear them.
Yeah. So number one, first difference between the LPA and ACP is coverage. A donee under the LPA has the legal authority to make decisions in personal welfare and property, like we said, property and affair matters. Yeah.
So they work with your bank,
Yeah.
CPF.
Property, yeah. So a nominated healthcare spokesperson under the ACP can express the patient's wishes and preferences regarding health and personal care on his or her behalf. Okay, two more differences between LPA and ACP is that an LPA is a legally binding document, while an ACP is non-legally binding. So for the ACP, it's advised for the person to discuss with their nominated healthcare spokesperson and family members beforehand, so that everyone is aligned on the person's preferences and wishes.
Oh, definitely don't surprise your family on this.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you just want A-class, what about you broke?
It's like, no, you're my LPA, you can use my finances for nothing.
You can have everything I have.
Wait.
Inherit her debt. So I tell you, the ACP is the one that got me. Because when I did that whole thing, right, then I came out with this random plan that makes sense now. But if I change my mind, I can change it again.
Yes.
As long as you're of sound mind. So this sound mind thing keeps coming out to me. Anyway. The context of my ACP is along the lines of let me die. But I feel like when it comes down to it, right, Pat will not be able to make that decision.
Ooh. Okay.
I mean, there are many things before that. You can talk about, for example, what gives me purpose in life? What makes me feel my purpose in life? Which is something that, I mean, according to Dan, I mentioned before, regarding life. In the MCQ, right, being able to enjoy my favorite food gives me purpose in life. Yeah, then when I look at that thing, I'm like, wow, then now I don't fight with my father anymore because of that. Because I realized that this is a real thing. It's not like my father just got no self-control, Then there's being able to communicate with my loved ones so which is mine, which is what I take. And then there's also one which is being able to live independently without help. So basically, you know if any treatment and procedures you need to do while I'm in a coma or whatnot, right? You can see what matters most to me. Yeah, then you can like put your care plan accordingly. For example, you can really talk about you want A class ward, B class ward. It's your preference. You know, you cannot afford your problem, right? But you have a preference so your family knows.
Yeah.
Right? And these are things that are so important. And the one that really got me was that when I decided not to put pet, I put my sister. And then I decided to text my sister. And we had a long drawn conversation and it made me realize that there is this weird burden that you leave behind. I mean, clearly worse off is you don't tell anything to your family and friends. And then they are completely left guessing. Right? And there's just an incredible amount of guilt. And for me, then I took it another step further. If I put it all to pet, what is that guilt? Right? Yeah. Because then I will have been more than 50% of her life. So she's also dealing with... And care plan is for yourself also. You know, it's not just for her. What if I don't want to be in pain for another 20 years, right? And I feel like even if she decides that let's let him go, right? She has to answer to my family.
Yeah. Who has known you longer.
Yeah, which produced me, you know what I mean? Like, then it was like rented to her, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like, I feel like, she won't be able to make that decision properly of sound mind. Yeah, so I told my sister to do it for that very reason. And then I briefed her very clearly that this was what I wanted.
But
you know
so
what I mean?
the ACP is like your preference, but what is actually decided will be determined by your sister.
No.
Everything he wrote already.
No,
inside.
everything in
follow that
ACP
way.
is a care plan. It's my preference.
Yeah.
Right? If there is someone that needs to give an input, that spokesperson will speak for me.
The national.
But at the end of the day, the doctor will, you know, you cannot just say, I think my brother will die, and doctor have to step me, because you know what I mean?
Yeah. But basically the situation is like, because the doctor, if you were of sound mind, you're awake, a doctor will ask you like, actually, what do you want to do now? This is the plan, these are your options, what you want to do. But if you're in a coma, the doctor can't speak to you. So then the nominated healthcare spokesperson basically speaks on your behalf to say, okay, these are the options, I understand, okay, I prefer this or that. But also these are his preferences or her preferences so that they can understand better which option is best. Yeah.
Actually, when you were doing the ACP, like how specific can you go? Is it like you say multiple choice and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
right?
they're open-ended answers as well. So at the end of the day, right, after you finish this questionnaire, you have to bring this questionnaire to
an ACP facilitator,
correct, which might be chargeable, by the way.
Estimation is about
$50.
$30 to $50.
Yeah, and they will bring you through, like, this is what you answer entails what. Yeah, and more. So when you go through that step, then it will be more long.
A bit more specific.
It takes like an hour or two, I guess.
Yeah. The other thing I want to touch on is it's not just about the guilt, like that for example, in that scenario that pet might feel because of like your family and all that. I think there's quite a lot of incidents or cases, especially when we were doing this campaign also, of family conflict. And similar to like the whole Tyree Shriver case that I mentioned, right? Where like you can't just base it off the husband saying, I know this is what she would have wanted. This time, right, you have something that is written and it's very clear that she prefers comfort over like just saving her life no matter what, for example. And then that makes it very clear it's certain throughout all the family members that this is what she would have wanted, as opposed to living in the air. Because most situations is that my care plan of just pull the plug, I would have only told one person and I would have only told Ned, for example.
Right. This makes me like a bit worried, right? Because my paternal grandmother, she has dementia. So I'm not even sure whether she's at the stage where they can still consider her of sound mind to be making a plan at this stage.
If she has dementia, then
probably not.
So then now it's like towards touch wood, but now it's going towards the end of her life already, right? Then she's also unable to bathe. She's at the point where she's unable to bathe herself also.
Yeah.
And it's like we are my family is at the point where we are just guessing like what is best for her or like what is recommended by the doctor. Then we just try to do that, right? And then we don't know whether she's happy also. We don't know like what she wants. And then she can barely remember. She doesn't have like moments of like clarity or what. Like when she see me, she still thinks that she will always say, right, oh, how come you so tall now? So she's still living back in the time where I'm in like secondary school, that kind, like shorter and all that. And then because she didn't make any of these like LPA or ACP things, right? Then we're at a point where just...
Which changes now, okay guys? Now you all know.
How do I make a like ACP?
So basically, right, after discussing your family, or not. I mean, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
You do
if
you.
you don't want to discuss
Friends
with
also
family,
can.
Yeah.
Recommended too lah, but
Right. Yeah.
My mother sure angry.
Right. There is a questionnaire.
yeah.
On which website is it?
mylegacy.life.gov.sg.
So that one is a preparatory like questionnaire.
Right.
But wow, the question looks very simple, but you think about it, actually quite deep one. Okay. So you get there, you print it out, you need to make an appointment with a certified facilitator.
Okay. Who is
Then
like a
they-
healthcare practitioner.
Yeah,
Right? Okay.
And then they have another form. So
Oh.
you really need to talk through like everything. I think it takes at least an hour. lah.
It's quite detailed, yeah.
Yeah,
That was fine.
Like one of the things on the form is make care my priority. Make comfort my priority. It basically means that,
Let me go.
recovery is secondary.
Oh.
Yeah, but obviously they cannot just, the form doesn't want to say, let me die. Because like, it feels like the doctor trying to kill you, so they have to word it, right? To make comfort my priority and blah, 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 right? And so the facilitator will then be the one that will say, okay, it means that let's say this happens to you, they will give you painkillers.
Correct. It's not like we'll give you extra blankets and pillows.
Right. So then that form
Maybe
that
that also,
I thought it would be that though.
so the form that I go through with the certified person is then the one that
facilitator.
gets submitted.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
they submit it to the
Okay.
National Electronic Healthcare Record. The general recommendation is that in the context of estate planning, LPAs and ACP should not be an either-or option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So an LPA can be the first step to appoint someone you trust to have the legal authority to manage your matters for you. And when you are ready to share your healthcare and medical preferences, then you can make an ACP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
question. So, I mean, okay, personally, I have not done either. One, because I didn't know ACP existed. And two, like, LPA, I always thought it to be a rich person thing. Like, to me, it's like...
the attorney in the name.
yeah,
It's the word attorney.
It's like, I got no asset to give out, you know what I mean? So why, like, at this point, do I still go and make one?
Okay. There is a common myth, but there is truth to it. If not, it won't originate, right? Like if you have nothing to give. But many people feel like because they don't have millions of dollars in the bank, then they don't need to do all that.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. It's a matter of your house. Let's say you have a BTO
Yep.
that you want to sell. Let's say shifting your residential address.
Okay.
Yeah, like you have to move to somewhere. Whatever you need to sign a contract and give consent for, which we do on a weekly basis in that sense.
Without reading the
Whatever
terms
you
and
need
conditions.
to sign in your SingPass for. I mean, at some point you never do it. Your family member need to like Denise, look here, Denise, to try and verify your SingPass. So whatever for all that, then the lasting power attorney then comes in
Right.
for you. Yeah, and if you don't, that's where. In the process of caring for you, they need to fight in court. They need to prove that they love you. They need to prove that they know how to take care of you.
Is LPA free?
No.
No, so doing the form all is free.
Okay.
Doing it, setting your wishes,
But getting
all that
it
is
legalized
free.
is not free.
But not legalized. Getting it certified, you have to. I mean, because the government cannot be the arbiter of saying, okay, you are sound of mind. Because you know what I mean. Then then the check and balance of power is gone, So you go to a certified medical practitioner. That guy needs to be paid for that for the time.
No, the LPA?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this
okay,
is LPA.
Okay, so very quick, how to do an LPA.
Okay.
Number one, log in to the Office of Public Guardian online, this website, and then you fill out the LPA form.
Link
You
is
appoint
down
your
below.
donees. And then the donees go online also, accept. Then you just, like John said, go to a certificate issuer. It can either be a medical practitioner or practicing lawyer or psychiatrist. And then, your LPA gets certified. And like John said, you're paying for their time.
There's also a
3
3-week waiting period.
fair enough.
If anyone want to contest your LPA, like for example, your brother try and sneaky, and try to get your millionaire fathers.
I see.
There's also a lot of safeguards, and you can set limits.
I think the important thing is that you can also change your mind. So it's okay. Don't feel like
Yeah. It's not a
everything's set in
final
stone
decision.
already. Then like
Yeah.
GG.
Right.
What's interesting also is that I think in the course of doing this campaign, we found a segment of society that feel like I have no one to appoint for ACP or LPA for that matter. So even if right now your ACP you don't have someone that you would like to appoint, right? You can still make an appointment with the facilitator. Let them know your care plan, then they will file the document and basically act according to your wishes. Where possible, at the end of the day, the doctor will look at this and make a decision also.
You kind of nominated yourself in the situation.
No, but
it's like
It's my wishes, law.
At least
Yeah,
you're
it's your
communicating
wishes.
to your doctor in some way. Yeah.
what's interesting also to me, right? Like why why do the government care?
Yeah.
Why do the government care whether Singaporeans do this? Like, you know?
I'll explain.
It made me really think about the fact that someone in the government also realized lifespan no longer the problem. The
It's
lifespan
living
is
too
very,
longer.
yeah, the lifespan is not very long. It's longer than the brain can sustain. Yeah, so it's like, wow, we need to, because there was one period where the government's like, do your CPF nomination. Right?
Yes.
Go and do your will.
Still ongoing, yeah.
Yeah. Because back then people still died, you know what I'm saying?
We're still, you should still do your CPF nomination, by the way. Just saying.
Now we hold on, now we drag.
They probably realized like, wait, how come like the court, like when I want to schedule court, right, like so long. Oh my god, everyone's fighting lah. Families are fighting over these things.
It really does make sense that like death is not the ultimate like fear already. It's
It's the ultimate release. What are you talking about?
to me, no. To me, before this conversation, it's like death is the scary thing. But
Right.
you have opened up my mind to like,
Be sound.
Interesting.
I'm damn scared now.
So I think, how do you do this, right? How do you get your family to do it? I think it's a relationship with death. I think my family has good relationship with death. I think I have a very good relationship with death. I don't think talking about death is morbid, because talking about death reminds me how finite my time here is. Like, it makes me fired up to want to do more, live. Yeah, and not like chill and see what tomorrow brings. You know, so like that's my relationship with death. You get there, right? And when you do your own LPA and ACP, you need to involve your family members to let them know your plans. Even if you're not appointing your mom and dad, because your mom and dad will be like, yeah, you're so young, you do this type of thing. It's like, yeah, because for you, if you still don't do, it's too late already, right? So I'm doing it now, and I want you all to know this is what I tell my wife, my girlfriend, yeah, or my brothers, or my sisters. And then from there, once you've done it, I think you show your parents, you can then talk to your parents about doing it. Because I feel like the number one fear is they don't want to talk about death because they don't have a good relationship with near end. This is not even talking about death, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is not a will. This is a near end of life, or not even end of life. You could lose mental capacity at 20 and your life expectancy remains the same until you're 75, 80. Yeah, which is something that I tell you, I've seen so many people lose their mental capacity like that. Yeah. Like I actually have a friend now has an aneurysm in their brain. Yeah. One year older than me. Wow. We do very similar things in life. I was so scared. I never done a CT on my brain.
Yeah, but I do agree that I think the distinction to make there is that I'm not here to talk to you about death.
Yeah.
It is in the lead up what I prefer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually you're doing it for your loved ones because you're giving them some form of like,
Yeah. So I think it might be
peace of
easier
mind.
to approach the topic in that way.
Yeah. Do it yourself first. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you do it
yeah.
yourself. Then you need to have communications with your parents. And then that's where you begin that conversation. Hopefully you sufficiently intrigue them. Like if they really still maybe they don't care about you. Maybe they want you to stress. They want the family to fight.
If not, where's the spice in life?
Yeah.
If Eve didn't eat the apple, okay.
Life is so boring. No sins. We all be naked but not aroused.
We all be happy.
And that's it for today's episode. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, My Legacy at Life SG.
Thank you.
We hope that today's conversation has given you more insight on how you can give your loved ones the gift of certainty and maybe even motivated you to make an LPA and ACP. For more information, you can head over down to the links below. And that's all we have. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
See
Bye-bye.
you. I remember seeing this really funny TikTok. I don't know whether I've said it before. That like I assume it's the dead person's wish to be scattered like amongst the mountains. So then they climb to the top. Then there are certain viewing points because it's a tourist spot, ma. So then they take out. Then after that they scatter, right. Then the camera like pan to follow where the ashes go. Then it lands on like a bunch of tourists in the lower viewing point. Comments is like, well, your dad's going home with someone else.